Hello. You know, I was just thinking, how cheap is it of me? How Dollar Tree is it of me to use that same intro? The one that comes with this, like the software. I'm like, I don't use the duck in the corner. Why am I using that damn the intro that comes with it? I should make one of my own.
You could be like 20, 19, 18.
Being super freaking lazy and just not making my own. The thing is, I could do it. I could even have somebody else do it for me. 3Dub could make one for me. I just haven't done it. I don't know why.
I have copyright-free music too, so yeah.
Oh, awesome. So let me open up the chat over here in the other window, so I can see everything. Because by the way, StreamYard's added in a lot of cool things. They now have live streaming done in portrait mode here on YouTube. So StreamYard added in the ability to stream in portrait mode directly from StreamYard, which I thought was kind of interesting.
What would be very cool is if the comic section can be like pulled out of the comic section and put into another window.
Yes, that would be coul They don't let us do that. I actually hit them up on social media. I was like, "Hey, are you going to add this thing?" Because the other issue with the portrait mode is, like, for example, how we are now. If it was in portrait mode and I share a screen, it shares a screen like it does on this setup. So it's super tiny. like your portrait mode head is like down on the bottom, like this big, and then the stuff you're sharing is like in the middle. Wow. I don't think they thought about that very well, so we'll see. Anyway, I did see somebody mention there was an TikTok Rachel Brosnahan video, but I can't find it. I was just looking for it. I don't see it.
I have it right here.
Do you? Okay, well, we'll look at that in a moment then. If you can leave that saved, I'd appreciate it. Anyway, so we have a bunch of stuff to talk about tonight. It's an open door policy tonight, so we're going to have people coming and going. But we are joined already 2 minutes in, and I haven't announced anybody yet. We're joined by 3Dub. Everybody is familiar with 3Dub, who also decided to wear his Superman hat, and the biggest the biggest Smallville fan that I've ever fucking met is 3Dub. And we have Darth Bunyan. I think he stepped away. No, there he is. Darth Bunyan's here with us. We have a bunch of stuff to talk about tonight. I'm so excited. We were going to talk about these Omega might be joining us too.
Hey.
We'll see. Paige, you could show up. I don't know. He's in I have a group chat now where I just share the link and then people can come in, so it's gonna be fun. It's kind of what I wanted Thursdays to be, but I'm really bad at organizing. So I'm like, just make it so anybody can show up whenever they want to. Hey Michael, how are you doing? We have South Texas Shark in the building. Good to see you. Okay, so we're gonna start. I mean, we have so much Superman news to go over today. Look, it's happy birthday, Superman, first of all. Happy birthday. Party up. We had a D&D session tonight, Dungeons and Dragons.
Ooh.
And we just got done, and the whole time we're playing, I just kept thinking about Superman. I can't wait to talk about this. So then I went through it. I was like, okay, let me check and see if anything else dropped, because I was like, okay, with it being Superman's birthday, maybe James Gunn waited till later to drop some stuff. And boy, did we get some cool stuff. So I'm really excited about that. But let's start out first with the big troll, right? This was the big troll today, and I use it as a thumbnail. But it's actually kind of funny to me. So this popped up on social media. This set photo. And since I got trolled, I decided to troll everybody that looked at the thumbnail, so they could go, "Oh, look, there's the Superman."
You're not the only one.
So I think a lot of people fell for this, by the way.
Not
me. Yeah.
It looks good though, right?
The only thing that threw me off on this was the length of the cape. I was like, I don't know if I like the way the cape is shaped.
That's a Supergirl cape.
A little weird. Omega has arrived in the building.
Oh, the camera's on. Camera's been on the whole time, huh? Hey, what's up, y'all?
Oh no, don't stand up. So we got this reveal here of this fake suit, and a lot of people got fooled. I shared it initially because I was like, okay, cool, we can talk about this later tonight. I didn't even really look at it. And then 15-20 minutes later, I was like opening my phone up, and I'm like, wait a minute, something about this doesn't look quite right. So I zoomed in, and I was like, okay, this is definitely not real. But you know why they got away with it is because it is Superman's birthday, and everybody expected something to come out today. So
I'm not gonna lie, the watermarking all over it kind of added a tiny bit of credibility for me. I'm not gonna lie.
It's legitimate, it's real.
Someone's claiming this nonsense.
Anagraphs? Is that you?
Yeah. What did you say? 3W. The hair was weird or something. Like
the hair looked like it was pasted.
Yeah.
Okay. I do like the classic though. You know, like with the curl and that. I like that.
So let me ask you this: if this would have been the suit, would it have been a thumbs up or a thumbs down?
Just the S.
Yeah.
Basically, the S.
Yes, except the
It's a
cape.
Superman suit, so whatever.
The S for me was like, like I'm always a big Kingdom Come Superman fan, so I'm like, it resembles the actual logo if you look at the other one. That
Right.
I'm just like curious is it like just a nod or a readaptation of Kingdom Come, or is it basically
I've heard some
beginning
theories, like
or
people
end of
saying that it might just be like a Kingdom Come where, well, I don't think, first of all, I don't think it's going to be like a bunch of old superheroes running around. I don't think that's the case. I mean, I think some might be older because we know, according to James Gunn, that superheroes have been around for a while in this world. But if they did something with Kingdom Come, it might be a situation where the government has their own Justice League, which is what I think the Authority is going to be. And then we're going to have these characters like Superman who are not bound by rules. And so they're just floating around. Oh, Pagey's arrived. I think his face is frozen.
No, I'm not frozen. I'm just really good at staying still.
Oh, is that
Just
it? Yeah.
Another skill I'm just
Oh, okay.
an expert at.
No,
I had you on the wrong tab.
were you fooled by this, Pagey? Did you see this and get fooled by this?
No, because I'm not an idiot. Like, well, one,
Wow.
if you saw the emblem, you know that's not the emblem that they're using.
I thought you were going to say that the trunks, the size of the junk in the trunk was off, and that's
No, and also it looks like AI. Like those people taking the photo, and why is he taking it in?
They worked really hard on this
well?
Photoshop. I'm sure whoever made this spent hours in Photoshop trying to make this.
You know that was a freaking AI prompt.
The thing is, I saw it on TikTok, and everyone in the comment section was fooled, which is not only concerning. Well, actually, I don't want to say not only concerning. I think it's just concerning in general for the mental well-being and like IQ levels of society. Though it was TikTok, so what was
just
I
at a
expecting?
glance? Yeah, I was like, okay, another Superman suit. Scrolling on, but yeah, now that you mentioned that, now I'm looking, scrutinizing it a bit more. Yeah, especially like around this. I think he's got a trap. I forget what muscle group this is called.
Also, he looks a little bit like Matt Smith, the actor Matt Smith, in the face. It's almost like the face isn't quite right.
And there's two loop-de-loops at the top of the hair.
Yeah,
it's supposed to be just one.
Yeah. Anyway, so many people thought it was real. I got fooled by it.
First glance, yeah.
So let's take a look at, before we look at the new logo, let's take a look at the one that we had in the DCEU, which is right here. This was the DCEU logo. General thoughts on this before we look at the new one. Did anybody care for this one? Did people hate it? Did they not hate it? Like, what did you think of it?
It looked like a Man of Steel version of it, like I guess downgrade.
Okay. I know a lot of people didn't like all the little I guess the little designs inside the
that
because that's very MCU-ish, if you want to call it anything, like these little tiny things making up the bigger thing. It's like, have you ever seen those pictures where you can zoom in and it's just a lot of different things that make up like a bigger picture? I forget what they call those, but anyway, that's what it reminded me of. I never really liked this logo, the Superman design.
Wow.
So,
now that the new Superman suit is out, now you're shitting on Man of Steel after hog riding it for.
I didn't say
God
anything
knows
bad
how
about
long.
Man of Steel. I said I don't like this logo. I didn't like this logo.
Oh, see, I thought you were finally going to join the light side and actually start shitting on it, but you're still over there. And
so
silly boy territory.
Anyway, for me, this was not the greatest. Thumbs up, thumbs down in the chat. Did you like this logo? Did you not? Before we look at the new one,
Well, it just looks like, to me, it just looks like the normal Superman one, but just like thick. Like, I don't know, like that's the way, because usually like the other one has like a little yellow on it,
like THICC, that kind of
well,
thing.
whichever way, probably works either way, but
Indifferent. Neither. So people,
Justin, I'm happy to hear. I'm happy to hear, Justin. We need more people over here because I feel people are still. I feel like they're going to get bullied online if they don't admit that Man of Steel is shite. So thank you, Justin.
In what way?
Because of that, I'm going to watch it again tonight when we're done.
I want
it's Superman's birthday, and I refuse to listen to this Superman slander.
No, it's the perfect day to realize that Man of Steel is shit. Is on Superman's birthday. It only comes every 4 years, so it's like almost like I'll revisit it every 4 years and realize, wow, this was awesome. So
what's the better version? Okay, we're gonna play this game. Who's the better version of Superman? Would it be someone like, I don't know, Smallville Superman or Man of Steel Superman? Which one is better?
Hold on. Here's the big question: who's better, Dean Cain versus Man of Steel?
Dean Cain loses every time.
Every time.
Yeah, every time.
But here's the thing: it was a close contest, which shows how bad Man of Steel is. Anyway, next topic.
How was it a close contest? You just made up the criteria just now. Oh my gosh, you've never seen it? Is amazing.
It's a really good movie.
I've only seen
telling you right
pieces
now.
of Man of Steel.
Well, let me like be
I know
concise.
it's a great movie. My brother keeps telling me it's great all the time, but it's like I still just haven't sat down and watched the entire thing from beginning to end.
Wow.
Man of Steel is a good movie if it wasn't a Superman movie. As a Superman movie, it's arse. As a normal movie, if it was just about some dude that can fly, it'd be pretty decent. Which shows you how much, Anyway.
Like Brightburn?
No, that movie was just shit in general. By the way, I remember when people were like trying to say that movie was good, but I think it was just because they want this is what an evil Superman movie would be like. Yeah, but you still want it to be a good movie. Like it can be an evil Superman movie all you want.
I started a poll. I want to see what the chat thinks. We got 60 people in here now. They better answer.
Apart from the Jonathan Kent scene, which is arguable. Okay.
Yeah, that was weird.
Like, it's a good movie.
Yeah, it's a good movie, but not a good Superman movie.
With that being said, let us go ahead and take a look at the poster, which gives a slight shot of the new Superman symbol, which is right here.
That's fan made.
I think that's fake.
That's fan made.
Yeah, I think it's fake.
Well, that's the same logo. That's the same design, but this gives us a design of the emblem.
Yeah.
We've got the other one loaded up here. However, the one thing that is not fake is the fact that it is no longer titled Superman Legacy. It is just Superman now. So, what do we think about a title change?
We haven't.
Well, I have a theory around it.
Okay, well,
I reckon he's going to change everything. I think everything's going to be. You know how there's Batman 1989? It's just Batman 1989. Warner Brothers owns the trademark and copyright, so they can call this movie Brave and the Bold Batman if they want to. It's just going to be called Batman 1989. So I think you're going to have Superman, you're going to have Batman, you're going to have Wonder Woman, you're going to have.
So they're just. You think they're going to go with the simple names with the?
I think so because I don't think this movie has to be called Superman. I think it could just be called Superman Legacy and have the same effect. But I have a feeling like when he says this is his way of rebooting it, in a sense. Like
he's rebooting a reboot already. He's like rebooting the reboot. Is that what you're saying?
I think he's just rebooting the view of DC live action as a whole, which includes just sort of that's the past. Let's move into the future, in a sense. I might be wrong, but I found it weird for him to call this Superman if that's not going to be the case.
So you think it's a brand thing for the whole like?
I think it's not just the movies like this is the universe. It's DC as a brand, yeah.
Okay,
and also like I think there's a whole thing where like the comics are all coming to an end as well. Like they're all running up as well. So I wonder is he behind what's happening with it, or at least with like Tom King, for example, having a back and forth about what the comics will do. Like, will the comics start with Superman #1 and Batman #1 and everything like that? Because I know we have the Brave and the Bold, but what's going to sell tickets? It being called Batman or it being called Batman, the Brave and the Bold, or the Brave and the Bold? I think if they do this just complete like rebrand within this reboot, I mean, to me, it sounds like a decent idea. But if it doesn't work, no more, like this is their last chance at a universe. If you've gone for this rebrand and everything and it doesn't work, Like, no more universe. It's just going to be singular movies. There'll be a Batman trilogy in this world, Superman, or maybe not Superman if it doesn't work, but anyway, Green Lantern trilogy in this world if they want to do it. God forbids, like, some stupid shit. Like, I don't know, what's a stupid DC thing they can do? Commandy, I don't know, something like that. But things like that, that's what I could, yeah. But hopefully, like, I like the idea that this could be like a complete rebranded reboot, and you have Superman, then you have Batman, and all these different things. But it also keeps it very simple. Like, you don't want Superman, Legacy of My Third Leg, or whatever. You don't want that. You want, or Batman, The Brave and the Bold, or Wonder Woman, Here I Come Again. Like, you don't, like, you know, like, I don't like the Spider-Man things. Like, where it's like the MCU got Spider-Man, just call it Spider-Man. It doesn't need to be Spider-Man Far From Home and Spider-Man Homecoming. Just call it Spider-Man.
So you're like, just keep it simple.
Yeah, keep it simple, stupid.
What about you, 3Dub?
As well, because the last movie to be called Superman was the Donna stuff, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to be, unless somebody specifically in conversation says gun Superman the whole time, it's going to be bringing that into conversation as well. So it's either going to be something that pays off really well because that's beloved by everybody, or it's going to be negative because it's going to draw such a comparison to what it could have been.
Yeah, and that's the risk involved if it doesn't at least work across the whole thing, or at least you know, for most, like, what, 4 out of 5 projects, whichever way you want to put it, like things like that. So 3Dub, what were you going to say?
It was basically it was going to be like, it's kind of weird that they're so touchy on, like, when you look back, you don't Superman Returns was like they had to put returns to make it totally different, so that they don't, like, confuse people. Now that people are now smarter, I just don't see the point of putting subtitles to singular heroes. Like, Superman should be Superman, Wonder Woman should be Wonder Woman, not Wonder Woman 1884.
Omega, any thoughts on these title changes? Or
I guess it just goes to, I honestly don't care. It's like they want to call it just Superman again. I was like, okay, what Superman are you talking about? The original Superman from, like, what, the 60s? Or are you talking about the one that's from the 80s? Or which Superman are you talking about? It's kind of like with the title Halloween. It's like with the title Halloween. How many freaking movies are titled Halloween?
Yeah.
And that, and I just have absolutely no faith in DC.
I was going to say, they should have titled it Man of Steel. Just title it Man of Steel again. That would have been good.
Well, it probably would have been better than the last incarnation. So probably not a bad idea. So my whole thing is that, like, it's not for you, me, or anyone here. Like, the title, like, we know that it's this movie. Like, we know what's going on. It's for, you know, the
John Q. idiot who just
the mom that wants to take her 6-year-old kid to the movie.
Yeah,
like, that's what it's for. It's, you know, it's not for anything like that. So I don't know. The thing is, I think it adds a bit of pressure to the movie, but
hey,
Darren has arrived just in time. We're talking about Superman, so you're here just in time. So we have a couple comments here. Let's check these out. We have Gnome here. Gnome saying says dodgeball texture again. Okay, so let's get into that. There is a texture here. What do we think about that?
You would think that a hyper advanced civilization, or like a type 1 and type 2 civilization, would have better textile technology than making it out of, like, rubber. That's my main gripe about it, is that it looks like a dodgeball.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I didn't see it until you said it, but yeah,
I'm kind of curious of what the fluff is. I mean, I guess it's snow.
Yeah, it's just
snow.
Yeah, Eric Z here says, are they teasing the fortress with this?
Probably.
100%. Yeah.
I would be like, is he underneath the snow and like the wind is blowing it away?
I don't know. It could be asbestos and it could be dying. Like, there is that option. Like,
like he's been, like, hibernating for 20 years.
Yeah.
We have a super chat here from Hero's Journey. It says, I'm really sorry I can't help you with Open Door. Lost my Twitter a long time ago. At least my buddy Omega's helping you out. Thanks, Omega, for helping Eric. He hadn't been here in a while, but I tried to add as many people as I could to the chat to make sure they could come in. So, you know, he's usually busy playing games, but it is good to have him.
Just because I just got finished playing Helldivers with you.
I see. Exactly. I do it. So overall, though, what do we think of the colors? Because we can kind of see here that they're not going with a super saturated blue and red and yellow, which I think a lot of people wanted to see brighter colors.
Yeah, it's fairly neutral.
Yeah.
It's almost as neutral as the DCEU suit, to be honest.
Yeah.
It feels like a darker version of Brandon Routh's Kingdom Come when after the crisis happened. Like when you see that picture of him flying to the camera, it looks like a darker version.
I wanted a really bright one. I mean, I kind of wanted it to feel a little bit more comic booky. Maybe it's just the lighting. Maybe this is like supposed to be in an area where it's cloudy. Or
is
something.
there indents in his to make the S pop out? Like it?
It does look like there's a lift in the material there.
Yeah, definitely basketball now.
It's just when it even glued in certain spots.
If you look like in between the lines where the actual S is, you can see the snow packed into it. So there is a bit of depth in that.
Yeah.
So
at least it doesn't look like cheap cosplay. Like with the Borderlands, I don't know if y'all were any interested in the Borderlands movie or show, whatever the hell that is, and they just look like a bunch of old cosplayers. When actual cosplayers could do a better job than that and have just completely embarrass Hollywood, which they need.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I want to see. This is the one thing about this is it makes me interested to see the rest of the suit. Like I'm very curious to what it looks like. Now the big thing before we move on from this. Do we think it's going to have trunks or no trunks? What do we think?
Probably not. The trunks are kind of on the way out.
I'm going with
they seem kind of corny.
I'm going with trunks.
It'll have trunks. I'll be shocked if it doesn't because I think especially with this color palette, I think you need something to break it up.
Yeah, probably. I can see that.
Plus, all the
I don't think so. But you may be right.
Shared as inspiration, like have trunks on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Darren, we never heard from you about the legacy thing about the title. If you want to talk about that for a second, about the change in the title.
I mean, I kind of liked that title, and like when they first had said it, I was like, I'm not sure if that's a good sounding title, but like talking about it for like an entire year, I did really like it. Really did grow on me, but because like I kind of liked this idea that like Legacy was kind of getting back to the roots of what Superman was. Like it was going back to who he was at his core, and that's kind of what this movie was feeling like. But I do feel like when you're starting a like universe, it is cool that you can just have a movie called just Superman. It's just Superman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's how you're starting. This
I do like
saga.
the cleanness to it. It sounds very clean to me, and I like that.
Superman, right?
But like Paigey was saying, I don't know if you heard or not, but he was mentioning that maybe all the titles are going to change to something more simple, like all of them: Wonder Woman, Batman.
Well, I did see someone say that maybe the Batman one's just called Batman and Robin, which would be taking a movie title, the George Clooney movie. Which is that's what I mean. Like,
I went to the theater to see that piece of shit.
But even if it was used in the past, again, like, has the MCU used? Because Fantastic Four is technically like there's been. Well, I know it was Fan Four Stick, but there's already the 2005 or whatever it was called. But even then, I guess the 2000 whatever it was, the 2010 one was called Fantastic Four technically as well. So they're using it as well, and I'd assume like surely one of the movies is called X-Men.
Right.
So before we look at this,
they might
the video that 3Dub has here from Rachel, we ended the poll here, and the votes are in. Was Man of Steel a good movie? We have 45% with yes, which is almost right down the middle. We have 37% that said it's mid. And 17% said no, it's not a good movie.
Okay, what was the question?
Is Man of Steel a good movie?
Okay, so people in the chat, I'm going to need you to revisit Man of Steel. It's Superman's birthday. I need you to go in with as negative a viewpoint as possible. We need to drive those numbers.
So you're like toxic right away. Like just fucking go in and you hate it.
Go in there. Like that movie deserves it. So come on.
Oh wow.
After the stream,
Superman's slander on his birthday.
Is it on HBO Max? Tubi,
yeah,
isn't it on Tubi?
So yeah, I actually just might watch that.
Okay, so this is a video from I believe TikTok, Rachel Brosnahan's TikTok, that somebody asked us to play. So let's just watch this whole thing. You can go ahead and play it, and we'll watch the whole thing 3Dub. Thank you. Oh, that's the whole thing.
Yep,
that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. I have to admit, that was pretty cool.
What the fuck was that anime background?
DXD.
What was it?
Lucky, I think that might have been hentai. I think that folder might have been.
No. It was DXD. It was PG-13 hentai.
All right.
Might still be demonetizable.
Hell, y'all should see some of my galleries. I ain't judging.
It out there.
Yeah.
All right. So
no one's requesting to look at your desktop picture, Omega.
Oh no! I already know what this is going to be. Let's not even approach that.
Have like tentacles or something.
There's this rumor going around that Henry Cavill has already been cast, obviously, in the MCU. I don't know how true that is, but it says here, according to a reliable insider at My Time to Shine, Henry Cavill's role in the MCU will surprise many people. So what are unsurprising roles? Unsurprising roles to me are anything that
this my time to shine. Hello, I think like had a mental breakdown or something. I think they might have lost their connection or something because they've been like exposed like multiple times as shit.
Yeah, I'm not taking this with anything more than a great
were they the one? What movie was it that they got the clout from? And then they just because they like all these people had the same connect. I don't know. It wasn't Spider-Man, was it? Or was it?
You mean they were given like bad information or something?
There was all these different accounts that pretty much just kept sharing the same information but worded differently, and they all got a lot of clout and have used that to pretty much just spit bullshit for the past. Right. Spider-Man feels like it was too long ago.
Doctor Strange, maybe.
Was that? Did Doctor Strange come out? No, that came out after Spider-Man, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
Okay, I'm not too sure what movie it was, but yeah. Anyway, they got clout from that. There's been bullshit.
We're going to run down the line here if anybody wants to answer. I would say anything that's predictable if Henry Cavill was hired is any character that resembles Superman. So we're talking about Hyperion or Sentry or Captain Britain or any other character that resembles Superman. If we were going to pick something that would surprise them, are we thinking like a villain role or like a random like X-Men character like Colossus or something? Like, what are we thinking in terms of like if this is true? Just say for example,
if it's true, I see him as like Doom, a little bit of Doom because the if I'm looking back at the 2005 version, he wore a suit, looked like clean cut, looked like a billionaire. That's what Henry Cavill looks like.
Okay. So, anybody else have any?
When you say it like that, you kind of make your thing makes sense. But initially, I was like, oh no.
He looks like the not Doom, but the other guy. Like he looks like the billionaire part.
Some people were saying that the Warhammer franchise is going to keep him too busy to be able to do.
That's what I was thinking too. Because I was even about to say, I honestly don't care what he's doing in Marvel. It's like I'm more interested in the Warhammer universe.
Yeah,
because I've lost faith in Marvel too, so I don't care.
Well,
yeah, I don't know if he would want to do another big franchise, like another big like superhero franchise. Like I bet he's trying to go maybe more passion projects, more stuff that he knows that he will be good at or like won't screw him over again. So I mean, maybe like I think he's way too old, but like maybe a Cyclops, like
someone in chat said Cyclops. I would think so. Yeah.
So Michael here, Team Airrick member with the JL Super Chat says Henry Cavill is Galactus. Maybe.
Yeah, honestly,
a voice actor.
Yeah, just have him behind CGI.
I don't know if I'd waste someone like Henry Cavill on just voice acting.
It was kind of funny when you think about it because Benedict Cumberbatch voiced, I think, he voiced someone that was in his movie.
Maybe. But look, yeah, that's it. You're right. The thing about it is we talked about this. I think Paige and I talked about this a while back. That when you're voice acting certain characters, when it comes to like the MCU that are not main characters, if a big name gets cast for it, it's literally just so people will go see it for that person. Like the whole Vin Diesel as Groot. Like, let's be honest here.
Yes, just
anybody could do that. It doesn't matter.
I'm Groot. I'm Groot.
Right. So I think they do that a lot of times. They cast someone in a role because they just want people to go, I'm going to go see that movie because I like.
Oh yeah, I'm a fan of such and such, so I'll go see it. Whatever.
Yeah. So I don't know about that one, but moving on to something interesting. So this came out. When was this news drop? I'm trying to see where this article was from. I guess a couple of days ago. I think it was a couple of days ago. where there was an interview with Stephen Amell, because now that he's going to be on that show, what is it? Suits LA, I think is the title. Now he's going to be on that show. He's getting a lot of interviews from random outlets, and one of the big questions was with MovieWeb, and they were asked, or Stephen Amell was asked about the possibility of returning as Green Arrow for the DCU, and let's just say his answer is quite interesting. He says, "I don't know. I think it would really be helpful to maybe see a frame of footage from one of the movies before I decide if I actually want to be a part of it, because I love playing Oliver Queen. I don't feel like being in a cinematic universe. I don't need to feel like being in a cinematic universe to validate that character. So, if he calls, great. If he doesn't, that's fine with me too."
He's like, no, I saw what he did with Batman versus Superman. That shit was trash.
Yeah.
I mean,
Steven hasn't been he's always voiced his opinion on how I guess his frustrations with it's I think it's pretty clear, especially when BVS shut the bed literally in more ways than one, and then Suicide Squad and stuff, that it was pretty much not in just the Arrowverse, but then even things like Gotham and stuff outside of it pretty much kept DC live action rolling along. They were at least the consistent things that weren't getting shat on. But they never really got acknowledged. Then, of course, you've just seen sort of what's happened the past few years as well. So, it's pretty much failing upwards, some of the other stuff.
So,
but
say, Darren, do you think that Stephen Amell is tarnishing a lot of his fans' loyalty by saying stuff like this? I mean, because it feels like it's almost like he's being a troll. You know what I mean? That's what it feels like to me.
100%. Yeah. No, I think. I don't know. I feel like maybe some of the things he said over these last couple of years have not been in his favor as far as people on his side. And I'm very shocked that he got a new show so quickly. I thought after what happened during the summer, I was like, he might not get work for a few years. And now he's
Paigey said that wasn't gonna. Paigey was like, no, I feel like he's gonna. If he's proven right, then he'll get a job right away. So
because any working actor would have agreed with him. Any working actor. It was the actors who weren't working that or that weren't well, fuck.
But I'm with Darren. I thought for sure I was he's gonna get Hollywood is gonna totally he's gonna look really bad here, because the thing about it was that he promoted I don't think it was just the comments. I think it was him promoting the show during the strike as well, which I felt like that was kind of worse than the comments, because the comments to me are oh, that's his personal opinion, but the promoting, I was like, come on now.
It would be kind of funny if the punishment was losing heels.
I think, but I don't know if that was a punishment. I think that was a.
Well, I think didn't he get? I know, I mean, Heels probably would have been, I guess, a more fun show to film because he likes wrestling. But then, I mean, didn't he have to film in where did he film that show?
Antarctica, I think, is where they were filming it.
Well, it definitely wasn't Antarctica. I don't know, but it was somewhere I guess Atlanta or something. Yeah. But now he gets to film in Vancouver.
Yeah. He's going to be
more comfortable there. Right. I was going to say Atlanta because I feel like that's probably where they would have done that.
So,
Georgia, at the very least, somewhere around
speaking of Steven, have any of you guys seen Code 8 Part 2? So here's the thing. Honestly, I didn't even know that it was out yet until somebody tweeted about it today, and I was like, "Wait, that's out now?"
So I didn't watch the first one.
You didn't watch the first one?
I never saw the first one.
I've seen the first one, but I can't remember the only thing I can remember is the opening 20 minutes of it or something like that.
So Code 8, the overall concept behind it is actually pretty interesting. I think that there were some execution issues that they had in the first movie in terms of special effects, because you got to remember this was not an expensive movie.
It was crowdfunded.
Yeah, it wasn't super expensive. This one I think they got a pretty good budget for, if I remember correctly.
And
so I don't know.
Have a show, right?
There was going to be a show that was on that weird service that got canceled. I can't remember what the name of it was. So that show, this is the funny thing about it. It was a service where all of the shows were filmed in portrait. So they were all filmed you were watching it on
What was
TikTok.
it fucking called? It wasn't it sounded like Tubi, didn't it? It wasn't Tubi, but it was something like that. Quibi, that's it, Quibi.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay.
It was only around for 6 months or something, and they started picking up all these shows, and then they couldn't even sustain their business model, so they basically lost everything. That was pretty funny. I haven't watched it yet. I'll watch it. Look, I will watch it before the after party. I'll probably talk about it on Saturday, and then Paige can not watch it and be like, "Hey, I don't know what you're talking about."
Yeah, man, I watched one episode of Avatar, and I'm like,
Yeah,
I knew it.
it's
I
not
knew
good.
it. I fucking knew it.
and then I ended up watching. What did I end up watching? Oh, what? I told you I watched Jaws too. What was I watching? Oh, I chucked on ET.
The Real
That's what I
Housewives of
chucked on
Atlanta.
ET.
Watch the Real Housewives of Atlanta.
No, I'm not brain dead. I think I watched ET, and then I watched something stupid.
Okay,
Oh,
show
it
of
was
hands
dumb.
if you watch the Avatar series on Netflix.
The entire thing.
Yeah,
The cartoon,
No, I
like,
didn't watch
the
one.
animated
the
show,
live action
or
Omega, the live action one. See, look, Omega hasn't seen it either.
Well,
and
good
I'm a
on you,
huge
Omega.
fan of Avatar.
So I
I
watched
guess
it again
I'll
today,
watch
taking
it.
notes. You know the Lord of the Ring things with the eagles.
Mhm.
I found one for the Avatar series, right? At least the live action. So basically, he goes to the Earthbenders and the Waterbenders and all of this to
Right.
talk to different avatars and everything else.
Uh-huh.
When he spent his whole life and then goes back to where Avatar Yang Chen is, who would arguably be more understanding of his position, who is an airbender, who would have to learn the other disciplines rather than someone who would naturally know them.
Right.
So why would he go on a wasted journey when he could just meditate at the air nomad's place?
He didn't know that he could do that until he was
He did,
away
though.
from the home.
Yes or no? He could go back.
He probably
Did 3 put a hole in the plot?
He could go straight back. Instead of going like fighting a whole thing of danger, he could literally meditate, talk to somebody.
he's
for 15
also
minutes.
a kid, and he goes, "Oh, there's one right here. I'm just going to talk to that one because I don't want to go backwards."
Wait, I'm sorry. Say that again. So what was the question again?
In the live act. Wait, you're talking about what
In-
Darth said?
Yeah, in the live action or in the animated series?
No, live
Live
action.
Oh, I have no fucking clue then.
Yeah.
I'm about to say in the
Oh.
animated show, he didn't really talk to his past lives until near
Right.
the end. When he was fighting Ozai. He was
Yeah,
like,
but
I
they had
don't
to
want to kill
like
him.
ramp up everything in the live
Yeah,
action to make it
okay.
They
happen.
talked to Roku in the first season of Avatar.
Yeah, and this one is
Yeah, it's the very.
apparently he talks to Kyoshi, which
Yoshi.
okay,
He talks
I guess
like
because
all
she
of
was
them.
popular in the comics.
Well, she's also gonna have a movie for
Movie,
her.
yeah.
I can't wait.
So, Shogun. This is a show that I didn't even know about.
I do
until
want to see. I
recently,
do want to watch
but
that.
I've
I hear
heard.
it's so good.
Yeah, everybody keeps saying it's really, really, really good
Mhm.
because it feels authentic and the action and all of it's really strong.
And as
but I
a
think it's
total weeb, apparently it's based off actual historical events and stuff. So I'll probably be like, oh yeah, that happened. Oh yeah,
Is
that
it a
happened.
week by week release? Is it or is it all out at one
It's
time?
Hulu.
No,
Oh no, it's FX.
Week
It's
by week.
FX. Isn't
Yeah,
it? Yeah.
FX really? Fuck.
yeah.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Isn't it pronounced Shogun?
No, it's Shogun.
Okay, I might be wrong. I heard a Japanese person say Shogun.
Oh yeah, I mean I don't know about that. Speaking of,
wait, so
like
what?
it's
So wait, hold
not
on. I need that because I saw because the guy from oh, what movie is he from? I saw a movie with him recently in it. Anyway, what service is it on?
it's
is it
on
FX,
FX, but that also
or is
puts
it
it on
Hulu?
Hulu and Disney Plus.
Hulu,
It's probably
yeah.
on Disney
Oh,
Plus.
but it's FX go to Hulu in America.
Yes, but it's on Disney Plus everywhere else, like outside of America, I believe.
Oh, so
You
here it's
sure?
on FX.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
I
guess
knew
I
that.
have to pirate it then. Screw it. Hold on, let me check something.
Or
I
use a
can't
VPN. You can use a VPN and watch it.
I'll
on
just
the
pirate.
Are we sponsored?
Yeah, we're sponsored by
Yeah, we're
Express
sponsored
VPN.
by the Pirate Bay. So thanks for the shout out,
Have
America.
you ever wanted to watch one of your favorite shows that's not available in the United States? Well,
Pirate it.
Yeah.
Disney Plus is the UK
Wait, do you want to get trolled?
What?
Have you ever
No.
downloaded something and then you're watching
I
it?
don't want to be
and-
trolled.
And the uploader trolled you by just replaying the opening 5 minutes for 2 hours, and you kept watching it.
Okay, let me tell you this. Here on YouTube, if you go, and I remember they used to do this with The Flash. It happened all the time. And like when a Flash episode would come out, you'd put in like The Flash, 3X01 or something. And and they do it with movies sometimes too. There'll be some idiot that'll upload 45 minutes of a blank screen and be like, The Flash, whatever. And
Right.
like one
Well,
picture of like
do you want me to hear my horror story of
Go ahead.
torrents?
Yeah, go ahead.
Me I'm 14 years old. I'm like, I want to download Batman Begins. I download it. Guess what the thing was? I thought that the file size was sus, but guess what it was when I clicked it open? 2 girls, 1 cup. I'm not even.
Oh no! Okay, literally
on repeat like 3 times over.
The stream is gonna get shut down because
demonetized 80%.
I'm not even joking. It's scarred
you
me.
find a way to do it. It's very creative, actually, that you managed to find a way to do it every.
I was scarred, Eric. I was scarred.
Scooby-Doo
Well, of
movie that
course
came
you
out.
were.
That was one of them. That got done. On Showbox, I think it was. They had a Scooby-Doo movie as the poster, and then a parody, shall we say, of Scooby-Doo that was not appropriate for viewing.
Oh no!
Oh, and those parodies get you. They wait about 10 minutes until they flip the switch. If you know what I mean. So you think you're watching something very wholesome, and then all of a sudden,
it's never wholesome if you like.
Scooby-Doo,
never that. So this was this is actually the next topic I had in my tab, which was that Respawn has canceled the Mandalorian game. And keep in mind, this game would have had you would have been playing as a Mandalorian. You would have been pursuing bounties through the galaxy, fast-paced combat, jetpack action. Main enemies were various types of stormtroopers. Boss-like enemies included all the stuff that they would fight against, like creatures and everything. It's not open world. It would be a sort of like storyline-driven game, but they canceled it. So it's not. They're not even like trying to offload it. They literally just canceled the game.
The gaming industry is pretty much in a freaking dive bomb now because I used to do moderation for I was going to say insert popular battle royale game here, and then when our contract didn't get renewed, we were all like, "What's going on?" We were doing well. We got our work queue down and kept it down. What's going on? So come to find out, like a couple months later, we started seeing other places they started letting go people. And then the company we were working for, they ended up getting rid of 900 of their own people. So it was like, oh, that's what's going on. And then just pretty much from then on till now, I've just started to notice like almost every other company has been laying off.
I have a theory about this. I have a theory. And Omega, you can tell me if this is right or wrong, because I know you're a big gamer, obviously. I think that the gaming industry, there's a combination of problems that are happening right now. One of them is mobile games and loot boxes, and all of these restrictions on those games is causing a crash in the mobile game economy. The other thing is, I believe that a lot of the AAA games keep trying to jack up prices, and people are not going to be paying $100 for a pre-order on a game that they used to pay like $50 for. It's just
look at that the Suicide Squad game that just came out. It was total and complete trash. They charged you $70 for it, and they had a freaking paid battle pass. Like one's doing that. No one's doing that anymore.
That too, yeah.
Now that they're starting to see that these games are starting to flop, and it's small games like Helldivers 2, which is the first one was a very small game. Me and Cyber used to play it all the time, and now Helldivers 2's out. That game's doing gangbusters. Larian Studios, who made Baldur's Gate 3 Game of the Year last year, was their own independent studio. They made that game. That game made gangbusters last year, and people are still continuing to play it now. And it's like,
but then like the AAA studios,
stuff like stuff like Call of Duty, they're just going downhill, and all these other not free to play, all these other AAA battle royale type games, even like Destiny 2, that's on its way out. People are just not buying this shit anymore. Thank God.
I think go ahead, Paige.
I remember the good old days when you bought a PS2 game or whatever it was, and you just play the shit out of that for like 40 hours straight, no matter what.
That's kind of what Baldur's Gate 3 is. It's a game that they
you know what I think,
where you play it all the way through, and it's got a lot of replay value too. So
you just replay it. Like you'd play it until Crash Bandicoot. Well, the game crashed. It's scratched up because you're playing it so much. I remember when I got a GameCube first, I didn't have a memory card for 6 months. So I had to keep replaying the games.
Back in my day, I paid $90 for Phantasy Star 2, and I still play that to this day. This was
I believe that the live
was back on the Genesis
service aspect on games that are not multiplayer online games is annoying. Like in a single player game, I should not have to be always online. That doesn't make any sense to me.
So what campaign games? Because the only one I can think of, or the only one I've played a decent amount of, because I think it's live service, is Destiny. Is that live service?
Yes.
Okay, I was trying to make sure because I was like using that as an example.
No, it's a poor
But
example.
How many of those games coming out now are live service? Like those
Almost
big
all
ones?
of them.
Yeah.
Almost all of them.
All
That's not
AAA
good.
titles almost are all like, okay, a big complaint is, okay, so like Horizon Forbidden West. I can play that game offline. Like if I lose internet connection, I can still keep playing that game. It's not a big deal or whatever. But there's a lot of games that are single player games, like one person campaigns, where if you get disconnected from the internet, you can't play the game.
Yeah.
The minute you put that on your game title and it's a AAA studio and it's a single player game, most people are immediately like, I'm not playing that game.
Yeah, it's like that crappy Avengers game. It's like this should have just been a single player experience. Why did you have to force a freaking live service on this? And Anthem, if EA would have let BioWare cook with that game, just let them make a single player game with that game would have been amazing. But no, even the gameplay itself was fine. It's just they wanted to force a freaking live service on that thing.
Okay, well, question. Oh no, sorry, I didn't realize you'd.
Oh no, it just turned out to be. I was about to say it just turned out to be absolute garbage. It was a looter shooter with no loot and no content.
Okay. Yeah. Question: GOAT console, GOAT or G.O.A.T console of all time. Personal preference. You don't have to fall in line. Is what you enjoy the most.
Dreamcast, best console ever. They launched in 1999 for $199. It included a 56K modem at the time, which was a good modem at the time.
What's a modem?
The Dreamcast started online gaming for consoles.
I never had a Dreamcast, so I can't give too much of it. I don't know how big they were in Australia. I remember I didn't.
A lot of people would say the PS2. I believe the PS2 is.
Yeah, the only reason the PS2 beat the Dreamcast is because, for one, the Dreamcast is so easy to pirate. Two, the PS2 was a DVD player.
Oh my god! I remember
DVD
how many times I have to put in a boot up disc in the Dreamcast to play a pirated game on it. Like that was hilarious.
Yeah, I did that for Phantasy Star Online episode 2 because it came out.
People told me about it. People told me about that.
Yeah,
I never personally did it myself.
Yeah, I did. It came out. No, I freaking did it. I bought the Japanese version because it came out like 6 months ahead of the US version. So I just.
We have a super chat for Omega. We should get into this here. Sup, guys? This is from Martin, $20 super chat. Good to see you, Martin. Sup, guys? I wanted to see if Omega has watched Snowtown. If so, what do you think? Well, now he's mentioned it to you. So here's your assignment.
What's Snowtown?
Look it up on YouTube. It's a free movie.
I didn't get a response from you, Eric. Is the sparkler scene in the movie or not? I can't remember if the sparkler scenes in the movie.
Everything is in it. Everything is in it.
Snowtown Murders?
It should be like a
I think I don't know because it's titled differently. It's called the Snowtown Murders and then Snowtown depending on where you live. I think it's just called Snowtown in Australia. I think it's Snowtown Murders internationally. Oh, by the way, Eric, there's a follow-up to Snowtown. It's not a sequel. It's not Snowtown. Welcome to the Bank. Or it's not anything like that. There's a movie called Nitram.
We're not going to talk about what it's about. Just be surprised. What I want you to do is I just want you to turn it on, just watch it, and then tell us what you think about it.
It's a comedy. It's a
comedy.
It's definitely not a comedy.
Well, some people would think it's a comedy.
Yeah, definitely not. Omega will join us next week, and then he can tell us what he thought of this.
I'll give it a shot.
We'll give us a review. All right.
I went to the 64. I had the most fun with everybody on the 64.
Oh, the 64?
I never had a 64.
I didn't have a 64, but my friends did.
Yeah, my friends had a 64.
We go over and you'd play Pokemon Stadium mini games.
I didn't play that.
Smash Bros.
I wasn't big on Smash Bros on the 64. I remember playing on the GameCube.
Yeah, I played Melee on the GameCube. I played that a lot.
Yeah.
GoldenEye and Mario Kart.
And Mario Party. Mario Party on the 64
I never played Mario Party on it.
Really good as well. I think my GOAT console has to be the 360 though. Xbox 360. It's PS2, but close to 360.
That's just love for the Wii U.
I was like,
no love for the Wii U.
Wii U was ass. Like Nintendo almost go bankrupt from that on.
I just got Brawl for Wii. That was about it. But that's
look, McLeod here giving a shout out to GoldenEye. That game for so many people.
Thank you, GoldenEye. Zelda. Okay. Mario. Like,
what about you?
Alone and just a
what was that other game
with their own controls, switching.
Conker's
Brad
Bad
in the
Fur
back.
Day. Anyone
Oh
play
god,
Conker's
that was like not made for kids. They kept
No,
saying
it
Yeah,
looked
I
like a
played it when I
kid's
was like
game.
9
It
years
was not a
old.
kid's
It's got like,
game.
What
isn't
about
it
you,
like
Darren? What was your
there's a lot of
favorite?
sexual innuendo in that game.
I was a wee kid, so I didn't have a lot of
Oh.
gaming growing up. If that
Like
ages
sports?
me at all, I was in first grade when I got that. So,
So
Oh my god, you all
the
the
Wii-
children.
okay, so here's
What's
the deal. There was a game on the Wii. I can't remember the name of it,
okay.
but I played it all the time, and it was this like undersea game where you could explore and find fish and stuff like that. I don't remember.
Oh,
what
I think I may have had.
Oh,
that,
isn't
yeah.
it called the Oh, I can't remember. I was gonna make a joke and then I couldn't
I
remember
think
the
it's
name of that
Endless
thing that
Ocean. Is it
imploded.
Endless Ocean? I think
What was
it's
that thing? What
Endless
was the submarine that imploded and everyone exploded?
The Titan.
No, that wasn't this one. That wasn't this game. This was
Titan.
This was
No, that's a Titanic.
no, that
No, I
wasn't
think
a-
the sub was called the Titan.
This
Was
one
it
was a
Titan?
game where you went
Ironic
out
that.
and you had a map and you could dive in the water and there was no fighting. It was just collecting fish. That's all it was.
I think I know
Eric,
what
that
you're
sounds like
talking
the
about. I
shittest game ever. That
It was
sounds like
fun.
that
was
sounds
fun.
like sounds like a game you download on your phone and play on the toilet. Like
People
just
say that
to-
about Echo the Dolphin. It's like, oh, this is a game about dolphins.
Wait,
This was called
so you
Endless
just
Ocean.
went-
amazing.
No,
What,
I really
and, like,
believe
with
it's called
the-
Endless Ocean.
Did you use like motions with the Wii, like to pick stuff up
Yeah.
or something? Or?
Yeah.
Really? I can't.
Frida, what was your favorite console?
I pretty much dipped my toe into like pretty much every single console there is. I started with Atari. Like I'm like I
Oh my
start with the
God.
original all the way to the present.
I mean,
And-
I had an Atari as well.
Yeah, I had the
and
2600. I was about 4
I
years old,
also
but I
had
had it.
ColecoVision. If anybody
Okay,
had
we
that.
didn't have
My God.
I started with
Yeah,
Atari,
he's older than
doing
me,
the whole,
so-
you know, like the.
You know how I know they're old because I saw them in a secondhand store and they didn't work. They were just there because they're just chucked there. So some like old grandmasters coming and giving her like kids stuff away.
I think the
ColecoVision.
my favorite game from Atari was the ping pongs, where you kind of like
Pong.
move your kind of like this little stick up and down, trying to hit into the opponent's.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
earliest game I remember playing, I had to be about maybe 4. I vaguely remember this was this game called Journey on the Atari. It wasn't until like I was like 38 when I realized that game was based off the band Journey.
Oh yeah, the band Journey. Yeah.
Yeah, I had no
Well,
clue
because
until
it
like
actually,
30 some
it
years
actually
later.
plays their music.
Yeah, I had
So-
no idea. I was like 4 years old.
All right, well, let's move on to some news here from Mark Ruffalo. This is a quote from him that doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but let's talk about it. So, Mark Ruffalo here says, I think the expansion into streaming was really exciting. But the thing about Marvel movies is you had to wait 3 years, and that created a mystique. I'm trying to think, other than COVID, when did we ever wait 3 years between Marvel movies? I don't even think the first like
They
phase of
came out
movies
within
had
months
3
of
years.
each other.
Is he talking about sequels though? Like
He's
It's
not
not even a sequel. Like even like Loki season 2 was like 3 years after Loki season 1.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand what he's talking about because everything you had, like, if we're talking about sequels, then you waited longer than 3 years for sequels. So he can't be talking about that because that doesn't make any sense. But
I
then
mean,
also he can't be
when-
talking about individual movies
Yeah,
because
they came out
Marvel was
within months
releasing
of each
2 to
other.
3 movies a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
what is he talking about?
Wasn't Age of Ultron like only 3 years or 4 years before Infinity War?
Age of Ultron was 2012.
No, that was the first Avengers.
Oh no, Age of Ultron was 2014 then.
Are you sure? Wasn't
Right.
15?
It was either 2014 or 2015. But yes, it was like a 3 to 4 year gap between the
It was
Avengers
15,
movies.
I think.
Yeah. So the only movies that did not wait that long between sequels was Endgame or Infinity War and Endgame.
But they were part 1 and part 2. You're not going to separate
I-
them by 3 years.
I just find it weird that he used X-Men to make his quote where he calls.
Oh
it
yeah, where he says
Mystique.
creative mystique. Yeah. There was never like the Marvel Cinematic Universe by design never took long breaks between movies.
Yeah.
Mm.
So if we're talking about individual Marvel movies, that's still an incorrect quote. If we're talking about sequels, it's still an incorrect quote. So what is he
Incorrect
talking
quote.
about? I don't understand what he means.
I mean, the
That's
thing that hurt.
that's the full quote too. There's nothing more. That's the full quote.
sometimes Ruffalo talks out of his ass sometimes. So,
and also he's just an actor. He's not anything. Yeah. He's not even producing anything. Like,
yeah, probably from between Hulk, the movies that he'd been in, there was probably within
15 years.
Maybe between the movies that he's been in, it's been about maybe 3 years or so. But
sure, maybe.
Plus, it's like shooting fish in a barrel, getting him to comment on anything. I mean,
yeah.
It's just easy to get an article out of the guy.
Yeah, didn't he pretty much spoil Endgame? We all died at the end. And,
I think a lot of the spoilery stuff that he does is like studio hype. I think a lot of that is the studio.
Yeah, probably
stuff
marketing.
This is them talking about all the changes that they're doing with streaming. Which, by the way, I think all the ideas that they're doing make sense. I think they were the idea of having a showrunner. Yes. I think more like singular seasons, less time into movies.
That blew my mind when it said that half the people didn't even know the source material. I was like, oh my god, this is the X-Men movies all over again.
What do you mean, like with the movie people doing the TV shows and stuff? Is that what you?
Yeah, no, it's like they were saying like how the writers didn't really know the source material that they were writing for, like the people who did WandaVision, I think.
To be clear,
Secret Invasion, they were told not.
Yeah, Secret Invasion. The writers for that didn't know the Secret Invasion comic series. I was like, so this is the movies all over again.
Okay, so I have a question.
With that. I'm fine with that for the most part, as long as the showrunner knows what they're doing.
So let me ask you a question.
I'm fine if they hire 8 writers to be in a writer's room, and they aren't that familiar with. But as long as the showrunner knows, and they're the one that's creating the story.
Well, yeah, but at least one person knows. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and that was the issue. They never had a showrunner, so I'm fine with you get.
Okay.
So my question is,
Sandra Watkins, who has no idea.
But
if she's a good writer and knows how to piece stuff together, then it's all good.
Is it unrealistic for us to expect people involved with these movies to be massive fans of the properties? No. Is that an unrealistic expectation?
No, I mean, absolutely not.
So you think that, like, if an actor gets cast in something, do they have to be a massive fan of that character?
Right?
I think an actor is a totally different thing, because like you're like Tyler didn't know, like he didn't watch those films. He didn't know about your like Superman stuff, and like he said he wanted to not know anything about any of these other actors for he can make that character like his own. So I think actors not knowing anything, that's fine.
Though it's a established character. It's not your own. Do that with some other artsy film. That's not this.
But like I don't think you should do the like same thing twice. I think each character should stand on their own and be their separate character.
Carbon copies or amalgamations of. You should just have your own stamp on its own.
Now, but like a writer, I think is different.
Okay. Even though that he didn't actually like look at Christopher Reeve's Superman and stuff like that, he somehow came off as a Christopher Reeve Superman because of how he acted as Clark, which I thought was really really like, I guess, coincidental that he just somehow like embodied Clark Kent's personality of being bumbly by accident.
It's just when I guess that's kind of like the archetype of that character. It's just when I think of those crappy X-Men movies when they came out. I'm a huge X-Men fan. I love the comics. I love the cartoon. And when I looked at those characters on the movie screen, I'm like, who are these people?
Are you talking about
Storm?
Wait, are you talking about like
they turned Cyclops into a total? Yes, the entire
X-Men movies?
All of them.
So,
all of them were bad. I'm looking at that. That's not Storm. That Storm is weak. They turned Cyclops.
What about
into
Deadpool?
A bitch. Deadpool was the only one that got right.
Okay.
The only
the second time. Yeah.
Both. Yeah. I honestly think both. Well, not the.
You almost fell on your own.
Yeah, not the. Yeah, I know, right? Not the Wolverine. Yes. No.
Not that
he taped his mouth shut. What are you talking about?
Not that one. But yeah, the current Deadpool and Deadpool 2. That's the only one that got right. When I look at the other the X-Men characters in the other Fox movies, I'm like, who are these people?
Yeah.
Well, so here's a question: do you think the MCU will do better X-Men movies?
Yes.
No.
100%.
Oh,
I have no faith in Marvel anymore.
I mean, what do we count as like your X-Men? Like, are we counting like Logan?
Logan's an X-Men.
Yeah.
Any of them?
I mean, the film Logan.
Oh,
the film Logan. I mean.
I didn't like that movie.
I don't like Hugh Jackman as Wolverine or Logan. I've said this before.
because he's too tall and handsome.
I understand that people love him, and if you love him, if that's your Wolverine,
I get why, but it's just he's too tall and handsome.
I have never been a massive fan of him as Wolverine, and I like him in other stuff. I just don't like him in that. Like for me, it's
he's a badass as Wolverine. It's got.
Yeah, some people love him.
He still does a pretty good job as Wolverine. I still just look at him as like he's too pretty and he's too tall. Wolverine is short and homely.
Stinky.
Like he gets that rage thing down though. Like honestly,
yeah, he does get that. Though. I'll give that to him. Yeah, I'll give that.
Well, I'll say this: I do believe that having him in the suit in Deadpool 3 is going to be amazing. I think it's going to be really good. I think people will love it.
Because I just remember like all the behind the scenes stuff because Bryan Singer didn't like the X-Men comics and how are you going to direct the X-Men movies?
So that's okay.
And Dean's like, oh, what do you think when to wear yellow spandex?
Yeah,
yes.
When a director or a writer of one of those properties admits that they are not fans of the source material, that is a massive red flag for me.
Yeah, there's not knowing about it and there's being like, I don't like it. There's two very different things. Yeah.
And there's also like, do your own thing. Don't copy the source material.
Yeah, it's like with Fan Forsting. It's like didn't the director say, "Oh, they didn't let me make the movie I wanted to"? Yeah, because it's not Fantastic Four. That was some other sci-fi movie which may have been good as its own standalone sci-fi movie, but as Fantastic Four, this is trash.
Right.
Secret Invasion was another one where they like.
It wasn't even Secret. They had the scrolls in name only there. It's like, oh my god, this is not what the series was about. And oh my god, that's another thing. It's like they wanted a more grounded X-Men. How are you going to ground the X-Men when they go up in freaking space the whole half the time? The same with Secret Wars. This is supposed to be like a go across multiple solar systems, but no, they put it on Earth in the backwaters of Russia. Get out of here.
What were you gonna
That's
say,
why I have no more faith in Marvel. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm drunk. There's liquor in here.
Were you, Darren? Did you have something to add to it? I thought you were going to.
No, I mean, I would say like it's very interesting because like I definitely think like when you're writing and like when you have like a showrunner or something, you definitely need to have people in that crew that know the comics. I'm also not like completely against having a couple people in there that don't know the comics to kind of ground yourself a bit, like for having a point of view that's like, hey, I also don't know this, but I am going to go about my writing in a way that isn't so in depth like with the comics and kind of have that back and forth of being like, hey, like what if we went about it this way, or like what if we went about it this way? Because like when adapting anything, I always think you do need to have your own spin on it. Like I don't want like I don't want to read a comic and then see the exact
it does that's I probably should have been more clear. I don't want an exact one for one. I do want like the characters I see in the comics. I just want them on the screen. If they want to do like a whole different storyline, cool, fine.
I kind of want, like for Arrow, for example, I kind of wanted a kind of like a Joker Green Arrow and a serious Green Arrow mixed together, like Barry Allen, where he at times he would joke, like basically, don't flame on. Basically, is what he said to Firestorm. I kind of want that kind of Green Arrow where it's a mix. And I wasn't. It took me a while to like get off of my Smallville kick with that Green Arrow to go into this one where it's just full on seriousness.
Yeah. So this is going to be like our 15-minute buffer warning. So we're going to go on for about 15 more minutes. I do have one highlighted comment we're going to talk about, but I got a couple of fun things to really like sort of dive into before we wrap everything up. So I saw this posted today. Did you see this from Cinehouse?
Oh yeah,
Blood thinks he's him, and he's like the Ray Fisher comparison for Eddie Gathegi. And I'm like, wait a minute, not every muscular black guy in the DCU is trying to be Ray Fisher. Like that's not. Can we not start that comparison? I mean,
they all look alike anyway. I'm black. I can make that joke.
I'm gonna let you have that. Obviously.
Well, I just realized I was having when I saw this post because I think I saw it because. Maybe you retweeted it, Eric, or something like that.
I did. I was laughing about it.
I usually say stupid things because you retweet them or something.
Oh, that's because I catch them from you first and then I retweet them. So yeah,
the logic there. Well, actually, I sent you something weird the other night, didn't I? It was like,
you did.
Oh yeah, it was like
never forget
the beheaded dude. Anyway, one thing I was wondering is like when I saw this is like in the Snyder Cut. Is there any point where the workout was worth it for Ray Fisher? Because I was wondering in the football scenes, is there? But maybe there was. Like, no,
he's wearing a jersey the whole time. Like honestly, there was no unless even in the Snyder Cut when he gets a lot of screen time, you don't really see him doing anything.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking about it. I was like, because obviously with, Mr. Terrific, I mean, he's meant to be an athlete, so I'm assuming that they're going to do some stuff there.
Well, I mean, technically, Cyborg was too, but they didn't give him any.
Well, yeah, but he also gets turned into a cyborg. Like, yeah. No, I was just wondering. I couldn't remember, and I was like,
"Don't be racist against cyborgs, okay? Let's not even start that." So,
I mean, Borg.
There's another cyborg. Well, there's actually two. Victor Stone, who was in Smallville, who passed away, but the one from Titans didn't look like that.
True enough. Also, we have some news from Paramount. Apparently, they're going to be reducing programming spending as a top priority for their corporate model. I'm going to say this is a really easy one for me. This is David Zaslav's bullshit with HBO Max, where they were like, "Oh, this last quarter we saved 103 million or something like that," and all these other streamers are now, so now all we have to do is write down all of our shows and reduce our programming, and guess what? We can make more money while reducing the amount of content that we're giving to consumers, which is so stupid.
What shows are on Paramount Plus? Because the only one that I think I've watched
Star Trek. There's a bunch of them.
I don't watch Star Trek. The only one I've watched is Yellow Jackets.
Blasphemy.
I think. Sorry. No, I mean they currently have a lot of like franchise stuff coming. Like they have like the Sonic franchise, they have the like Turtles franchise, they have Star Trek.
I need to watch those side movies. Jeez.
But like I feel like they need to make more like original stuff to make it worth it whatsoever. Because like the Sonic stuff is just starting to come out. The Turtle stuff, your Avatar stuff will come out right next year, I think. So like. But like you need also like original TV shows and movies
for like the general consumer, like at least something that you don't have to be like connected to it.
Lloyd, there's a reason why Warner Brothers made a profit. Let's not pretend that it wasn't because they were putting out a bunch of quality stuff, because that's not what happened. They raised their prices and reduced programming. So that's how that happened. All of those residuals they didn't want to pay to people, the health insurance they didn't want to pay to people. That's how they made their money. That's why a lot of the stuff on HBO Max, or Max, the home of HBO, is just HBO programming. You know what I mean? No, I get it. I just want to make it very clear for everybody, Lloyd, that it wasn't just because they were putting out good shit. That's not how they made that money. Anyway, all right. Just not good consumer stuff. I also want to touch quickly on the Isabella Mercado stuff. So apparently there was a quote that came out from a bullshit site that said that she was blaming the failure of Madam Web on men that are toxic and don't want to support women. And the thing was, I tried to follow, because I was going to make a video about it. So I'm like, let me follow this up and see if there's any truth to it. Yeah. Come to find out, it wasn't anywhere. There was no, she never made, there was no podcast. There was no interview. There was no red carpet. There was nowhere where this information came out. So I kept waiting to see like if people were going to fact check it or anything before they're retweeting. But of course they're not doing it.
I think I owe Lance and whoever was on this podcast some Monday an apology, because I called them a misogynist for saying they didn't like the movie.
Yeah, well, here it goes. It says, she posted finally today, "I'm just existing and people are spreading fake quotes and believing them with no real source. We need lessons in media literacy. This is crazy." So what's happening here now is these outlets have found out that some actors, guess what? They're not messy. They don't say dumb shit.
Yeah.
So now they're just making stuff up about them. That's the issue. And this is why, like, Paige, what are you laughing about? I'm
just laughing at the irony between how you open the stream and how it's ending.
Well, it hasn't ended yet.
With that fake said photo.
Yeah. No. That's what I'm saying. I called it out as fake. I didn't present it as real. I said it was fake from the beginning.
I don't know. We don't know what you were thinking before the stream. You might have been thinking it was completely real.
No, I explained it. You weren't here. You showed up after we'd already talked about it.
Oh, okay. Well, you didn't provide me with that context. My bad.
Yeah, well, exactly. That's what I'm saying. There was no context for that. Like, you couldn't look this up because it didn't exist. So when she says this, she's talking about the fact that we've gotten to a point now where a lot of these like websites, Instagram accounts, TikToks, all these people that look for negative engagement, now they're just going to make it up. So
who started the rumor?
Some Mexican website. I forget the name of it. It was on Facebook. It started on Facebook.
Of course it was.
Yeah.
It's always Facebook.
Oh, was it on
So-
Facebook? Oh, well,
Yeah.
there you go.
But
God.
but the issue was that
Can someone put together a montage of the fake movie posters on Facebook that people believe? That's
all the ones that pop
that's
up there.
always funny.
There's all
I
sorts of fake.
I personally have a
Obama
problem
starring
with-
Ryan Gosling. Like it's people go, oh, come on.
Yeah, exactly. And then people are like, "What is this casting? Can you believe this?" I'm like, "Because it's
What
not
is this
real."
woke BS?
I saw the one that was like, it was like, what was the one?
I
saw
know
that
the
I'm-
funniest one is Rosa Parks starring Chris Pratt.
Oh yeah, that's all that one too.
Hilarious.
But I've seen like the stupid Pixar ones where they had to actually Disney threatened legal
Yes,
action against them for doing
people made
that.
Pixar stuff.
Oh, what was the
Birth
one I
Control.
What was
I saw one that was like Pixar's Martin Luther King Jr. story, and it was like a white character, like a white cartoon character. And I'm
Or
like,
they have
God.
like
the fuck?
they have like Hitler, and Hitler's like holding like
Yeah,
a dog.
Adolf.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Adolf.
Just
Yeah,
smiling
so
in the back.
they had to
Oh,
like
what
do
the
a
crap
cease
is
and
this?
desist on the app that was doing it because
And they
they're like,
did another one for R. Kelly as well.
they've done so many of them. Yeah. it's
Yeah.
totally-
I won't
All right, so
describe what the post
we have 3 comments here to go over before we wrap things up. Darth Zen here. What's the group thoughts on X-Men revival cartoon? I know Eric covered it already, but for the others, and for the record, I'm excited about it. Does
Same.
anybody have any thoughts about the upcoming?
As a huge fan of
I know
X-Men-
Paigey doesn't watch animation, so he doesn't care. So
Oh, come on. As a huge fan of the show back in the day and of the comics, I'm super excited. I can't wait.
Yeah.
So excited. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like.
Well, Eric was
it
saying
my-
that he was scared they were going to get too woke. So I don't know if anyone else shares those.
yeah, I'm worried about that 100%.
If you didn't think, okay, I know you're just bullshitting around.
He's
but
trolling. Yes. Don't
but
feed
people,
into it. Don't
No,
buy
you're the
into
one that
it.
said it,
people
not
who
me.
thought, like, oh, this is getting woke now. I was like,
Stupid. They're so
Have
stupid.
they read the comics?
they talk about civil rights for
They
people.
invited
They-
woke. They invited. I think
Which
they
is
invented
why
the-
it's all a troll. Yeah, I
People
mean,
compare.
if
Malcolm-
anybody's been on my second channel, you'll know that I've done several videos
yeah,
about
people
this
compare
already. So.
Xavier and Magneto to Malcolm X and Martin Luther King
Yeah.
all the time. That wasn't the original. They wasn't really based off those, but a lot of people make those comparisons. But they're accurate though. But it's like, come on, man.
Well,
What
because
do you mean?
allegories don't require intent. I've
Yeah,
said
they
this
just
before.
say, oh, he's fighting apocalypse. Oh, he's
When you
fighting
have
Magneto.
characters
Oh,
that represent something, like
Mhm.
when people make something, there's like a subconscious process
yeah,
that goes with
it's like, oh,
creation.
they're similar
So-
to this figure, and
And
there's
Stan
this
Lee
guy similar to
says,
this person.
Stan
Yeah.
Lee, when he answered, he goes, "No, that was not my intention." But yes, I guess that's what I
Yeah,
was thinking
there's-
about.
yeah,
when
I
made
see
it
the
because
comparison.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's about civil rights, so it's stupid. But the fact that you guys went into that was exactly what Paigey wanted, which is
I
why
know.
was
Look at
agreeing
that
with
smile. It says it all.
That's why I
It says
agreed
it.
with him, and I was ready to move on, and like everybody's
Oh,
really
man,
into it,
it's-
so. You got to
Too
know how to
funny.
deal with him. You have to know how to.
Yeah, a
handle
lot of
it.
it is just
A lot of
rage
these-
bait by people like a certain other Eric angle. And then let me stop.
All right. South Texas Shark Team Airrick member asking one of the most important questions of the entire stream.
Oh,
What are your top 3 favorite fast
Ooh.
food
I
restaurants?
don't know.
Domino's.
Is that
That's
like
not
number
fast
1?
food.
No, Domino's is fast food.
I would
think
call it fast food.
It takes
Domino's.
35 minutes for food.
My Domino's only takes about 15 minutes to get to me.
Yeah,
to be honest.
Domino's is pretty. Like, I think anything that's like fast, like if you order from a pizza place, like a mom and pop
It's
pizza
gonna be
place,
fully cooked.
Domino's is faster than that.
Three
I know, mate. I've been to
saucy.
McDonald's and I've been to McDonald's.
I want the
Times
soggy
get ready
pizza.
for the
Yeah,
next.
I'll cook it myself.
How is your McDonald's or your what is it? I'm gonna say it in the American way. Macca's. Is that
Oh, Macca's.
Is it-
I've
how
told you
long-
so many times how to say it, and you still can't say it.
I can't say it. Is it quick or
Do you
slow?
want to know?
'Cause here,
Wait, do you call KFC Kufk?
no, we just call it KFC. We
Okay.
just call it KFC.
Start calling it Kufk. That's the way to go.
Oh, is it?
Oh, what's
No,
the other one?
You're
What's the other
lying
one?
to me. That's a
Oh,
troll.
you would
That's a
get-
troll. That's a 100%
No, it's
troll.
not.
So
Okay, I'll give you some. Okay, Kentucky. So there's Macca's. That's McDonald's. For KFC, there's multiple. There's Kufk, the
no,
Dirty
that's
Bird,
not real.
and what's the other one?
That's all fake. That's a troll.
No, it's not.
So
You Kufk, you got Kentucky. You got
Australian
Kentucky Fried,
people
you
in the
Kufk,
chat, because I know we have
Dirty
some.
Bird.
Please call Paigey out for making this up because it sounds like an absolute.
I'm
lie. I
not
do
making it
believe
up.
you.
Anyone that's Australian, we're backing up. Dirty Bird.
I'm gonna go on
Don't
Reddit
call
and
Dirty
ask,
Bird,
and
what are you
ask the
doing?
people that don't like you if you're telling the truth, because a lot of people on Reddit that
I'm
don't
gonna
like
ask
you.
Alana Pierce.
So
Dirty Bird. You're just jealous because you don't have the Zinger Burger over there. That's what you're
you
jealous
don't have the
about.
Zinger
Eric.
Burger.
You don't have the
I
Zinger.
would have to say Chick-fil-A, even though they
Okay.
hate
Oh,
they don't
Chick-fil-A
like
is
it.
great. I wish we
Chick-fil-A
had-
is super salty. Anytime people have bought it for me, it is like eating pure salt.
You know what's opening in Australia? Or apparently it's being rumored that's coming to Australia? Popeyes. I've had Popeyes
is good though. Popeyes is good.
Yeah, Popeyes.
Well, that's the thing. It's got to compete with Australian KFC because Popeyes in America is better than KFC, but in Australia, KFC is like up here.
I want a real answer.
Popeyes
I've heard that KFC in Australia is like the #1 fast food place. Is that true?
Australia, New Zealand, like Australia, New Zealand's probably here.
Here's pretty big in Japan too.
The UK too. It's big.
Yeah, the UK is pretty good. I think Australia is better than the UK, but it's like
it's pretty good in Japan too.
But they're pretty similar. Like UK has the Zing burger and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not great.
So bad.
No, but I have to say Chick-fil-A, even though they don't like gay people. I'm sorry.
Sorry, gay people. I need my Chick-fil-A.
Wendy's, I like Wendy's.
I just see myself out of
it. Wendy's and I'm gonna have to say McDonald's.
Really?
I actually really like. For one, it's their fries, and I love their double quarter pounder with cheese.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, fries are either they're a 10 out of 10 when they're hot. As soon as they drop below like 1 degree below hot,
they're trash.
I mean,
reheated microwave. Yeah, reheated McDonald's fries are absolutely.
Anybody want to chime in with their favorite?
The best way to get it is you ask them for no salt because you know what, they put salt on them anyway.
I always wanted to try Nando's. I think there's like one in like 2 hours from here.
Anybody else have any?
No, we are not getting into the McGriddle. The McGriddle is the worst thing that's ever been invented. Whoever invented the McGriddle. Look, I'm not about crucifixion, but look, I'm just saying the McGriddle it's that big of a crime. I got it just thinking, oh, it's popular. I've never felt more sick in my life eating a McGriddle. It's a stale pancake drenched in maple syrup or whatever it is. I'm sorry.
Anybody want to throw in something we haven't heard yet that you want to?
So mine are Five Guys.
It's expensive though. Five Guys loses points though because you have to take out a mortgage to get it.
The quality
loan for that shit, man. Yeah,
the quality of it is like huge. Basically, they don't squeeze out the juices.
And you get 1,000 fries in a bag.
No.
They fill you up.
Great. It's delicious. It's expensive. You take out a loan, have like $750 credit.
Yeah.
You get like 20 potatoes. Like 20 potatoes chopped up in that bag. It's a lot of fries.
Yeah, fair.
The second one is Taco Bell, and the third one
I actually rather like Taco
Bell. Let's see, Burger King.
Oh,
I used to love Burger King. I can't eat it anymore.
Okay. Lance dropped in. Hello, you handsome gentleman. Hello, Lance. How are you? I hear you were playing drums at church.
Yeah, I saw that message.
Okay, so this is our last super chat. I think this will be a quick one because we kind of already touched on it, but we're going to answer it because they were so generous here. So Steigervorth at $4.99 super chat. We'll go down the line with this. You guys chime in. Are you okay with Superman Legacy being changed to Superman? I will say for me personally, yes, I'm totally cool with it. I know some people were like really connected with the Legacy thing and it sounded cool, but I feel like they want to go with a fresh, clean title, and so I'm okay with Superman. Anybody else have any thoughts on that?
No real. Oh, no, go ahead.
You know what got me thinking? In America or Australia, do they still have that like movie guy that's like coming this fall? Because I haven't heard that in ages.
I haven't heard that in ages either. No, I think they fired him.
No, he retired or something.
No,
I was fired.
A trailer came out. But I think it was for a shit movie, so it didn't really matter.
It used to be in a world where blah blah blah. And I'm like,
I thought he was retired or something.
This summer,
in the world, I was rehired.
maybe they'll bring him back for Superman. Maybe we'll be like in a world where heroes are now.
Well, no, but you know what they replaced it with? They just replaced it with like someone from the movie, like the main actor, just doing it.
Yeah,
and then they have it over some old song with super hyper like bass boosted. Oh god. Because I saw Dune today. I saw Dune today. That's pretty much all those trailers.
I thought it was pretty genius when Disney would actually use a bunch of clips from their actual movies to like say something basically with we have our heading with
here we go.
Here we go. Yep, that one.
Wait, what did they do?
They basically like had a bunch of clips from all their different movies, animation and live action, and actually said something. Like
they'd piece together the sentence with like using different people's.
Yeah,
in the
like
trailer.
we like no, like for promotion on the DVD.
Promotional stuff. Like
I just remember when you put in like back in the day, you put like the Disney VHS in, and it'd have that thing you'd get before the movie starts, and it'd be like a compilation of all the shit is so bad nowadays. Like it's so bland. Like we need. There's this girl on TikTok, and she calls it cuntology, and she's just going through all this different stuff, like showing how good the 2000s was and how everything was just sort of like, it tried to be fun, even though it looked stupid. It was trying to be fun.
Yeah,
like stupid phones that you connect to the landline and stuff like a burger phone or something like that. Where's the burger phone? Like, how shit does that look?
Wow.
I need like a burger phone.
It looked blurry for me. It looked really blurry.
Oh yeah, it was blurry. Yeah, sorry.
It's like that ain't a crappy phone.
I got some of your hentai on the back, so it's automatic. But mate, like a Motorola Razr. I remember I had like a Nokia E65. I think it used to slide up and have like a little keyboard. And shit like that. I'm sick of this shit. Like it's so bad. Man.
By the way, I
flip phones, you could flip it open and go hello, like it automatically answers when you flip it open.
Yeah, like they had just like the capabilities of a smartphone, but just you could just flip it up. Like, oh god, I miss.
Well, they have that, but they're like ridiculously expensive and they're pretty shit.
I always thought the BlackBerry was cool, where you could like flip it open and have a keyboard.
Oh, I wanted a sidekick. So
the sidekick from T-Mobile.
No, are we ignoring the N-Gage? The N-Gage. I was so jealous when I saw someone in public with that. I wanted that.
N-Gage was a great concept.
I still want a hoverboard.
They should bring it back.
Imagine, I guess.
I still want a hoverboard. I still want a hoverboard from Back to the Future. Those were like coolly.
Yeah, they have hoverboards, but they're not an actual.
Hello, if we want anything from Back to the Future, it's the little pizzas in the packet that you then put on the little tray.
A hydrator. They put in the hydrator and it like expands. Yeah,
kinda.
Ready Player One had a helicopter pizza delivery. That was
I just my biggest envy ever watching a movie as a kid and going, I am so jealous right now, was Richie Rich when he had the McDonald's in his house. Did no one watch Richie Rich with Macaulay Culkin and he had the McDonald's in his house? Or Spy Kids when they did the same thing in Back to the Future and the McDonald's came up.
I was really young, but I still felt bad for those workers.
In what, Spy Kids or Macaulay?
You know they're getting paid.
Those McDonald's workers, like that just felt like such a bad job.
Not really. I think you probably get paid overs, wouldn't you? Oh no, maybe they.
You know they were paid a mint.
Domino's in New Zealand tested a like moving pizza maker thing. It just kind of rolled around.
That thing would not last in the U.S. People would knock it over, steal the pizza.
Like you could order it, and it like you would see one that's nearby you, and you could order it, and it would be delivered almost instantaneously.
I need one that goes off the air.
Why though?
Because
New Zealand doesn't need this. New Zealand doesn't need it. That's such a random.
It says not in the U.S. just yet, but it's already on the road in New Zealand, so it's in New Zealand.
That's so random.
Not last in the U.S.
I think
I'm not that desperate for Domino's. I mean, I really like it.
Piss on it.
Right.
Take a dump on it. Yeah. Throw it in a river. You know, people would do that here.
Oh my god. Anyway, I could not get tickets for Dune 2 for the next 2 days. It was completely.
Wow.
I was surprised.
I just went to Chesapeake Square and just went there like same day. Like,
the theater near me is a very smaller theater.
Oh yeah.
It's like one seat.
You go to that special theater, which it's a good ass theater.
It's a special theater, isn't it?
No, it's a really restaurant. It's like a restaurant. You go and you sit down and eat.
Yeah, some really good food there too. I went there like years ago.
I thought it was a Pee Wee Herman style theater or something.
I thought it was like a little drive-thru where you stay in cars and.
However, people in the chat are giving like Dune 2 a thumbs up, saying it's really good.
Oh, it is great, especially as a nerd for the for the actual book, because I'm actually reading the books. I would say it's about 70% accurate to the books, more so than the 84 movie. But it's kind of like the 84 movie did some things better. This movie did some few things other things better. But it's great. Go see it whenever you can.
You could have just said source material.
How uneducated I am.
I will say this one thing. It does leave it open for a third movie. I'm not sure if they are, but
I think Denny was
books. After the third book.
I have a question about that, right? Because Apparently, there's a post on from Discussing Film that Hans Zimmer is already making music for the third one.
I'm not surprised because they leave it wide open for a third movie.
Okay.
Which led me to question, like, isn't the whole scoring and musical part supposed to happen towards the end of the movie making?
You can do it before. Some do it before because it's some.
Okay, it depends.
Like James Gunn, the Superman score's done before they're filming. They're going to play the music.
He's the only one I know really that has done that. I mean, Guardians.
No,
is like the key example.
I know Joker did it. Joker did the score before, or they were like at least working on the score. Like they'd finished like half the score before they even started filming. Like the dancing in the bathroom scene he does that scene exists because the score was already done, so he danced to the music that's in that scene in the movie. So it depends. I think like with big budget movies they have that ability where they can sort of have the score done before they even start filming, or at least
it's interesting. It's supposed to be at least 3 years away.
I know that sometimes during like TV shows they would be like they don't have the music, but they would tell the actors to just dance basically to basically nothing.
Or like if they play like Cyndi Lauper or something like that.
Yeah.
When it comes to the books, they split the first book into 2 movies, and then there's Emperor of Dune, which is where this one leads off. So it's probably going to go into Emperor of Dune.
I read an interview where he put the Dune Messiah, some of the Dune Messiah stuff in the movie as well.
A bit, yeah.
I think it's mainly to set up the third one.
It's been so long since I actually read the books, though. But I know there's Dune, Emperor of Dune, Children of Dune.
I was gonna read
Messiah,
and then I saw it was like 7 Bibles attached to each other, and I'm like, how about no?
Someone told me that the Dune audiobook is like 40 some hours long. Or
Good
something
God.
like that.
Oh man!
I'll YouTube it quickly because I listen to some audiobooks on YouTube. The thing is, you don't get the good narrators. You get someone that sounds like they've been smoking.
The Dune series is great. It is long though.
I actually heard people on YouTube are now doing audiobooks with like with AI voices so that you can get them out really quick.
This guy has, I don't know if you want to listen to it, I guess he's got 2 parts. I guess the file size was too big. I don't know, but Dune audiobook part 1 is 11 hours and 56 minutes, and part 2 is 10 hours and 56 minutes. So
that's actually shorter than the one from
24 hours.
From
cut that real down.
Yeah. So
let's see, 21 hours apparently.
Ooh.
It's a heady and philosophical book. So I already know. I can already see the articles now. They're going to be like, okay, why is this white savior here trying to save all these brown people? I'm like,
I mean, that's kind of what the story was.
The books. That's the whole point.
Yeah, that's
it's about religions and messiah figures leading people into BS and just screwing everything up. Because look, spoilers.
Well, I was going to say you might be spoiling part 2.
Spoilers for Emperor of Dune. Paul Atreides messes everything up, and
I don't think that's a big spoiler. I think
and his
everybody
son
kind
Leto
of knows
II
about that.
has to turn into a giant worm person to fix everything. That's all I say.
Too funny. All right. Well, with that being said, we're going to wrap things up. I want to thank everybody for joining me tonight. Make sure you go check out all of their channels on social media and such. I want to thank Darren, 3Dub, Darth, Omega, and Paigey for being here. I will be live with Paigey on Saturday for the after party. And I don't know. We'll figure something out. We'll probably have some more news to talk about.
Well, I know you wanted to do a girls on the bus trailer reaction, so you might.
Yeah,
be able to
absolutely, 100%. I also want to talk about Rebel Moon Part 2. I'm really excited for that coming out. Anyway.
Oh, by the way, quickly Google Rebel Moon Smith's crisps and show it up on the screen. They released 3 flavors of Rebel Moon inspired potato chips in Australia.
Why?
You're trolling, right?
I'm not. Smith's crisps.
Oh my god!
Yeah, one's like a spicy chicken. I one of them's
probably because I have everything based in the U.S., so I don't see anything.
Here we go.
What
they have 3 flavors. We have a Veld Farmhouse cheese bread, Planet Dagus spicy chicken skewers, Motherworld's Feast roast beef, garlic, and herb.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'll be honest, the spicy chicken sounds okay, but the
Yeah,
other
I
two-
think all of them are actually meant to be okay, which is hilarious because the movie's so bad. But it's-
This is basically ramen noodles flavors.
that's true. You're right. Actually.
essentially, I guess they
Nobody
put the
that's
season.
like heard all of that
packaging
terrible
chips.
stuff about the movie is going to go, you know what? These bag of crisps is really selling this movie. I'm going to go and enjoy it.
Well, I
I'm
think
gonna
the
watch
joke
this
is
movie.
because
This movie's
I think the
ass.
joke is, and I think I saw it in the promotional thing, is because they're farmers and they're taking the world, so they've stolen their potatoes to make the chips.
Oh my god!
I think that's the joke, but anyway.
Oh, my
Look,
shit.
Defunct says I did see them at the shop, but didn't even notice the Rebel Moon factor.
You
It's
don't
kinda
know.
like
I didn't
weird,
notice. I
but-
saw them as well. I didn't notice until I saw something on Twitter or something about it, and I was like, "Oh, I saw those. I didn't realize they're Rebel Moon." I'll tell you why I didn't get them because they were too fucking expensive. When they're on sale, I might get a packet. Mate, how expensive are potato chips? I don't know. They're in Australia. They're fucking expensive.
They're
Like
pretty
$8
expensive here.
here.
Yeah, so like honestly, I don't have them in here, but there's a local shop that does chips that are better and they're like way cheaper. So those are the ones I go to. Honestly,
Yeah.
Have you been to
Anyway.
the international market lately?
no, not lately.
So no Tim
But
Tams?
we'll see about it later. No, maybe later. Anyway,